Right, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about taxes, bills, all this kind of stuff. Um, so again, I seen just a crazy thing the other day, so I thought I'd make a video about it. So anyway, article from 660 News, Alberta NDP demanding support for high energy bills, and then this guy, Benjamin Aldrit, I don't know who the hell he is, but anyway, like Rachel Notley retweeted this, so that's why I seen it, and that's why another reason why I wanted to talk about it. Um, Albertans are already paying more in income tax, more property tax, more school fees, more camping fees, more tuition, higher insurance costs, etc. under the Kenney government. Family need a break from these spiking utility bills. So, um, this is like peak clown world. Like it's literally like peak clown world. Like if I was making a parody account of Rachel Notley, I could almost just sync her tweets and not even have to do anything. And for the people out there that don't know what I'm talking about, um, like her middle name, like cognitive dissonance is like synonymous with this person, Rachel Notley, and I'm guessing this other person, considering she retweeted him. And with a lot of these people, like cognitive dissonance is it's literally synonymous with these people, and um, reasons why is very simple, right? Rachel Notley complains all the time. Albertans are out of work. Kenny hates people. He's putting them out of work. But yet, on the other hand, she's talking about how we need lockdowns. We need never ending lockdowns. The same doctors that have been wrong for a year straight, she believes, right? That's just another reason why she's insane. Um, so, again, like, here's the thing. If you believe in lockdowns, if you think that we're all going to die because of the virus that's comparable to the flu, by all means, push your fear porn. Like, push the fear porn. But you can't complain about people being put out of work then. You don't get to have lockdowns and full employment. That's not how it works. You have to pick. Right? You have to pick. Right? So there's the first example of cognitive dissonance. The next example, again, she constantly is retweeting and siding with these doctors that are calling for never-ending lockdowns. Again, the amount of there is an endless list of places around the world that are fully reopened, if not very close to it, and doing perfectly fine. But yet she's still taking these doctors that want lockdown seriously. Again, like the the the, the cognitive dissonance of these doctors and people like Rachel Notley. It's like, my God, if 20 states, if Finland, Belgium, Austria, Sweden, um, a handful of African countries, like again, like I'm South Korea, Japan, like again, like I can name pretty well 10 countries just off the top of my head, 20 states that are reopened. If that's not enough to acknowledge you're wrong, then what is? Like seriously. So again, there's the next example, and the example like that they bring up here is that again, the NDP supports more taxes and more regulations. What happens when you have more taxes and regulations? Wouldn't you know? Utility bills go up. You make less money. Like this is like stuff that 5-year-olds could figure out. I mean, this guy's got his pronouns in his bio, which is usually a sign of a complete idiot, to be frank. Um, why is this so hard for people to understand? You can't have more and more and more regulations, more and more taxes, and have your life be as affordable as it was before. Like, see, like I brought up, this is like literal 5-year-old level, the stuff that 5-year-olds could understand. If you want to have more regulations, if you want to have more taxes, that means your bills are going to be higher. That means you're going to have less money. Like, I don't understand how people can be this stupid. Like, seriously, this is taking stupid to a whole nother level. right? Paying more income tax. Well, the NDP supports more income tax, more property tax. Again, you guys seem like the same people that seem to want teachers. Every teacher needs a six-figure salary with 3, 4 months off during the year. Yeah, you're going to need to pay more property tax if you want that. More school fees. I guess that's pretty much the same thing. Camping fees. Again, I don't think that's any, like, who is voting solely based off camping fees? Like, I don't, seems like a stupid idea. I mean, stupid thing to me, right? Higher tuition. Again, when we have mass immigration and stagnant wages, yeah, of course this stuff's going to happen. When you basically force people to get a degree, when you tell oh, you need a degree. If you want to earn a good salary, you need a degree. Well, of course the cost is going to go up. Not to mention professors are the same as the public school teachers. They want six-figure salaries with 3, 4 months off during the year. They want their, the best, benefits and pensions of any occupation in Canada. Like, of course tuition's going to have to be going up for that. Of course tuition's going to have to be going up when you want to bring in 500,000 immigrants a year. Higher insurance costs, etc. Now, insurance is a different story, but that's a thing that required me to go, into depth in it. And I don't think a lot of people understand the insurance thing either. Like, I don't think they understand it. I think one of the biggest things when it comes to insurance is the amount of bureaucracy involved, right? Like the amount of, and not to mention too, like the amount of people, the amount of frivolous lawsuits and stuff out there too is just insane, right? Like that's something that really needs to be clamped down upon. And not to mention too, like the entire system as a whole, right? Like the entire system as a whole, it's way too bureaucratic, right? Like, um, so yeah, I mean, like I say, insurance would require a specific video in and of itself. And the other thing I would point out too is that I don't think 95% of people have any clue what they're talking about on the issue, right? Um, because again, and this is the other thing too, that this is basically what they're expecting people to do. They're expecting energy companies to have to pay more in taxes, and not only they want utility companies to have to pay more in corporate taxes, they're going to be hit with the carbon tax. I mean, the people that run them and work at them, more income taxes, more property taxes. So again, they're expecting these companies to pay more in taxes in multiple ways, but yet not raise prices. Like, either these people are absolutely and utterly insane and have like literal, like, you know mental retardation levels of intelligence. And again, that's not making fun of people that have mental, they're mentally retarded in any way, shape, or form. It's simply pointing out the lack of intelligence amongst a lot of these people, or all they're worried about is political power. And I think that's what it is, right? I think that's what it is, because there's no way that, again, like I brought up, this stuff could be explained to 5-year olds. Like, you can explain to 5-year olds, um, you know, it costs a company, $1 million to provide services to people. And let's say they need to spend 900,000 to get that $1 million in revenue. If the government all, and not to mention too, that 900,000 would be including all the taxes and regulations and stuff. If you increase the taxes, all of a sudden they're not going to be making as much money, or maybe any money. So again, anyone with half a brain would see that and think, oh yeah, they're going to have to raise their prices. Again, this is like basic economics, right? That, like, I've taken economics courses. This is stuff you learn literally like the first week. Literally the first week, this is what you learn. And the fact that You have the person who was the premier of Alberta for the longest time and is looking like will be the next premier that doesn't understand this stuff. It's like, wow, the clown world we live in these days is just literally just boggles my mind. And here's the thing, I do think they're wrong, but the points I'm making, regardless of whether you think more taxes are good or regardless of where you stand in the political spectrum, I'm simply pointing out you can't support an NDP government with their current platform and turn around and complain that you're being taxed more, that your utility bills are going up, that your basically day-to-day living is becoming harder and harder. You can't do that. That's like voting for World War II German leader and complaining about racism. Like again, like the stupidity of some of these people, like I said, it really just knows no bounds. Now, the reality of it is that, at least from the Rachel Notleys of the world's point of view, I don't think they're that dumb. The majority of the NDP voters, absolutely, they're pretty stupid. I'm gonna be frank. But when it comes to the politicians, they're not that dumb, right? They're simply saying whatever they think needs to be said to gain power. That's all they care about. Like that's all they care about. Because again, the facts are very clear. The facts are very there's no debate on the facts. The facts are if the NDP were in power right now, we'd still be paying more in taxes. We'd still be paying more in property taxes. Tuition would still be up. Now again, the government would say, "Oh no, we'd place a cap on tuition." Okay, well then you get a lower quality education, right? It's what happens. It's the same thing as with rent control, right? It's the same thing. What happens when rent control is imposed? Well, the quality, no new buildings are built because the whoever builds them can't make any money off them, and the incentive to look after the existing properties go down. So you just get a lower quality. Yeah, you don't get an increase in living costs, but the quality of your place you live just goes down. And the same thing happens with education. Now they would argue, oh, that's proof we need to pay teachers more. No, that there's other things that go into it as well because again, teachers are already paid very, very, very well, right? And the fact that they never tell people this is proof that they don't need to be paid more because if you look at the Alberta government, I think it already spends like 12 or $13,000. If you look at a school of 25 kids, the classroom's getting like $300,000 in funding, right? They constantly talk about how schools need more funding, but they never tell people that, oh yeah, a classroom with 25 kids is already getting $300,000 roughly in funding. They never tell people that. And why? Because if they did tell people that, the average person would think, hey, that's a lot of money. Why do you need more? Like, just imagine if the average classroom was getting like $10,000 in funding or some tiny amount. They would be telling people that because that actually is a very low amount, right? So, again, it's just the dishonesty that I can't stand. Like, just be honest with people. If you support the NDP, you support higher taxes, you support more regulations, which means life is going to be more unaffordable. Just be honest. I'm not even saying, I'm like I say, I'm not even saying whether they're, I think they're, I mean, like I said, I do think they're wrong, but that's besides the point. That doesn't matter to the point I'm making. If you support the NDP, you support life being more unaffordable. There's no debate on that. That's a basic fact. And here's the thing, like you could say I'm wrong. Okay, well point me towards the part in the NDP platform where they propose lowering taxes, where they support cutting regulations. Right? You're not going to be able to do that. I hate to break it to you. So anyway, that's what I wanted to bring up today. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you check out those links below. Follow me on those other platforms. If you want to donate, you could do that as well. Again, I would very much appreciate whatever support I can get. But at the very least, just hit that like and subscribe and stay tuned for more.